Now, let me ask Gabby. Now, so as we are going through all of this, people are displaying the cost of their LPG on social media all over the place. An MP said he took a cylinder to the station, the service station in the morning, and I think there was a queue or something, so he preferred that it be there when he closes from work. By the time he closed from work and got there, the price has shot up, and he was bewildered. What's going on? Can't you also help?
Something we are helping, but there's a extent to which you can help. I think we all know what is happening in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine, which has shot up the crude oil price to about $115 per barrel. Unfortunately, our city has also not been doing too well for the past few months. These two are the main factors that has contributed in shooting up the price of LPG to that level. Now, LPG is being sold at 10 cedis per kilo. What that means is that your 14.5 kg, you need about 145 Ghana cedis to be able to fill that cylinder. Samson, the LPG marketing companies have been making a certain call over the years. In 2018, Cabinet set an objective for consumption of LPG in Ghana. Of all the petroleum products, I think LPG is the only one that has been singled out, and the president and his cabinet has tasked us, Ghanaian, to double consumption of LPG within the next 10 years. But something we all know that LPG is a product with an elastic demand. It's very highly price sensitive. Any single peso that you add onto the price of LPG goes a long way to slow down consumption. So over the years, we have been calling for government to, as a first step, as a first commitment towards realizing that noble objective, to consider removing taxes on LPG. In fact, this has been our call for the past, we've been very consistent and persistent about this call for the past 4 years. Because we believe LPG must be made tax-free. If you look at our West Africa sub-region, even Cote d'Ivoire is paying subsidies for LPG. Most West Africa countries, and indeed African countries, are paying subsidy because of a strategic...
What's the component of the tax, and how does it affect the cost?
Currently, we are paying about 16-18%, between 16-18% as tax on LPG. We don't believe that removing the taxes will mean everybody in Ghana is going to consume LPG. But it's a very good step, because as I did indicate, every peso reduction is price sensitive. I mean, it's an elastic demand. So when you reduce price, you are likely to get more people into the consumption net. And that is what we've been calling on government to do over the past 4 years. But we've not been very successful at that. And unfortunately, this Russia overtaking Ukraine came up and unfortunately shot up the crude oil price and the price of finished product. And unfortunately, our cedi is also not doing too well against the major currencies.
So give us a picture. What were the prices like before now, and what are you projecting in the absence of the subsidy?
If you look at over the past 1 year, LPG price has gone up by over 70% since January last year. Just last window, of which began on the 16th of February to the end of February, we were selling it at, your cylinder was being sold at about 130 Ghana cedis. And this window, we've shot up to 145. The experts are predicting that crude oil could go as high as $130, $140 per barrel. If that happens, and we are not able to stabilize our cedi, then we are afraid within the next few months, you should be buying LPG beyond 200 Ghana cedis per your household bottle. And that is almost somebody's monthly salary. We live in a country where the ordinary Ghanaian is taking home 600, 700, 800 cedis. How do you expect such a person to take as much as 15, 20, 25% of his salary to buy just LPG for the month? We believe that is so strong.
We have heard complaints about people who are going and now buying in tots. I mean, that's strange to hear.
Samson,
Is that not even dangerous?
It is. Our survey indicate that when you take the urban areas of Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, about 50% of the people who walk to any LPG outlet are not able to fill their cylinders. And this is not a survey we need any professor to do. You can send your reporter to any LPG outlet around here. Let them observe the buying pattern for just 1 hour, and you come back to confirm what I'm saying. When you go to the rural areas, it's worse. It's worse. It goes as high as 80-90%.
I'll return to talk about the implications for our environment, more importantly, and what you think ought to be done urgently, and whether you think what you are calling for is feasible. Senyor Osi is with us. Thank you very much for joining us, Senyor. Okay. I understand that we have a little problem with your Zoom. Once we get it corrected, we can hear from Senyor Osi, who is the CEO of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors. Of course, Gabby is talking about the tax component. They have also been, talking about the tax component for fuel. Now, because of the behavior of the CD, also means that the people at Bosokai will tell us, and magazine will tell us about the cost of spare parts and the rest of them, and transport fares just went up.
So that's 6 o'clock.
When will they go up again? How is this going to impact generally on cost of living? It's already biting. Senor, we have you back. Okay. Once we get Senyor's line clear, we'll get to hear from him. So, first, what are the dangers in the pattern of buying that you speak about now, and the implications for the country?
Let me start with the implications, Samson. As I did indicate, in 2018, Cabinet gave a directive to the Ministry of Energy and MP to ensure that at presently we are at 25% penetration level, to ensure that within the next 10 years we double that to 50%. That clearly sums up the importance of LPG. As I said, it's the only petroleum product that has a target in terms of its consumption. So it again buttresses the need for us that it's very important that we consume more LPG. Now, the experts are again saying that Ghana's forest is the fastest depleting in West Africa. And what are we depleting the forest for? It's for firewood and charcoal. If you go to the northern part of Ghana, charcoal is the biggest industry in northern Ghana, not even farming. Because when you talk about commercial basis, a lot of people do farming in the north, but they do it for subsistence. It's on subsistence basis, just for the family to eat. But if you talk about commercialization, it's quite limited. But if you look at charcoal, it's the biggest industry in the northern part of our country. And that will mean a further depletion of our forest and our environment. Now, all our river bodies continue to
I don't
dry
like
up.
to hear that. You said fastest
Depleting, in terms of depletion, Ghana's forest is the fastest.
in West Africa?
In West Africa, yeah. You could check.
Are we that terrible
It's terrible.
in almost everything?
Samson, somewhere last year I was driving from Kumasi to Tamale. And I started counting the number of trucks that have loaded charcoal and it's coming down. By the time I got to Tamale, I had counted 52 vehicles. One day. Not even one day, just within 5-6 hours. 52 trucks, care trucks loaded with charcoal coming down south. As I said, charcoal...
The way to reduce that is cheap gas.
Cheap LPG. That is the only way out. People must eat. If he can't afford LPG, he has an alternative in charcoal and wood fuel. So they'll go and cut the wood, they'll go and get the fuel.
Now hold on briefly for me. The bad news, I can't take too much of it.